The opening scene features a high school prodigy by the name of Kuroruji Yuni who struggles to express herself. She keeps a blank expression on her face all day and is an introvert by nature. Yuni has few friends because of her unusual behavior. And whilst having top grades in all of her subjects, she is not doing well in English. As a result, a new English teacher by the name of Haruka Sakurai demands that Yuni take extra classes in order to make up for her failing grades. Haruka is a handsome young man who is popular among his female students. But despite his usual charm, he is extremely rude to Yuni as he accuses her of deliberately failing English. This hurts the latter, but she pretends to be unconcerned and walks away with an apology. On the first day of extra lessons, Yuni arrives on time, but the lessons seem ineffective. She still doesn't understand anything and instead asks for simpler rules to follow. Haruka bluntly tells her that unlike math, English is essentially just expressing oneself. She finds the idea absurd and decides to leave, but he blocks her path. In a blank tone, Yuni tells him to move because she doesn't want his strong cologne to stick to her. Later at home, Yuni's cousin and guardian Akechi, who is also a teacher at her school, asks how her extra classes are going, to which she simply replies, okay. He encourages her to give her best because this could be the stepping stone towards her dream of attending the University of California. But sadly, Yuni gave up on that dream a long time ago. The following day, Haruka prepares a task for Yuni and instructs her to copy the sentences 5 times while saying them aloud. She innocently agrees, believing that it would be pointless not to do what she is told, and absent-mindedly touches her ear. Haruka notices this and incorrectly assumes that she has developed feelings for him. He then reprimands her, prompting her to nervously clutch her skirt. Once again, Haruka misinterprets her actions, which angers her. In the midst of all of this, some of the female students are envious of Yuni because she is the only student who is getting quality time with Haruka. One day, 3 female students gang up on Yuni and lock her up after pushing her to the floor. Injured, she attempts the seemingly impossible task of climbing out of the small window. Fortunately, Haruka comes to her aid. She asks how he knew she was trapped there, to which he responds that he had a run-in with her classmates. He then picks her up and carries her to the infirmary. Haruka treats her injury and advises her to be more expressive in the future. Later, in order to show her appreciation, Yuni buys Haruka a gift, but he rudely declines, claiming that people might misinterpret it. He also insults her by saying that she has become boring and dull. These cruel words strike a sensitive spot in Yuni, causing her to sob for the first time. Seeing this, he tries to console her, but Yuni runs away without saying anything. From that day onwards, she starts acting erratically, which worries Akechi. As a result, he talks with the principal and expresses his desire to cancel the extra lessons, believing them to be the root of the problem. The principal agrees and orders Haruka to cancel the lessons. Things are back to normal, but somehow Yuni's emotions have changed. She reminisces about the good old days while listening to the voice recording that Haruka made for her. One day, Haruka notices a gloomy Yuni, so he takes her earphones and listens to what she is listening to. To his shock, he finds out that she was listening to him. An embarrassed Yuni flees without uttering a word. The next day, Yuni has lunch with her one and only friend, Nami, with whom she shares everything. Yuni reveals her love-hate relationship with Haruka. She doesn't want to see him, but not seeing him makes her feel lonely. After hearing this, Nami understands and concludes that she is in love with him. Armed with a full understanding of what's going on, Yuni decides that the only way to resolve her current situation is to confess her love to Haruka. But every time Yuni has the opportunity to express herself to him, she is unable to do so. In the next scene, Yuni musters up the courage to confess to her teacher. This time, she uses a notebook that reads, "I hate you, but I also like you. What should I do?" while hiding under the teacher's table. When Haruka sees her, he deliberately drops a pen to bend down and leans towards her before kissing her. Unfortunately, Yubi's new homeroom teacher, Miri Takazawa, happens to witness it. Later, a fellow teacher introduces Mirai to Haruka, causing the latter to be surprised. It turns out that the two were in a relationship before. Mirai admits to knowing about the kiss and warns Haruka about the consequences of having a relationship with a student, but he claims that it was just an accident. Hearing this, Mirai tears up, remembering how she was always the one who initiated the kiss, unlike what she had witnessed earlier. When Yuni sees Mirai with Haruka, she becomes envious and decides to confront her feelings head-on. After school, she approaches Haruka and boldly expresses her love for him. However, he believes it is a passing infatuation and tries to console her. This only upsets her and she runs away, claiming that he doesn't understand her. Yuni's wrecked emotional state is having a toll on her overall health. As a result, while defending one of her classmates Matoba from bullies, she faints. Hearing the commotion, Haruka rushes to the class only to discover Yuni lying unconscious on the floor. He quickly carries her to the infirmary, where he learns that she has a high fever. Days pass and Matoba begins to develop feelings for Yuni. One day, he gets the courage and professes his love, but Yuni tells him that she loves someone else. Suddenly, a man in a hoodie breezes in, grabs Yuni's hand, and takes her away. The man turns out to be none other than Haruka, who has finally realized that he loves her. But when he confesses, she is skeptical and asks him to prove that his feelings are real. The next day, Haruka goes to her house and signals her to come out. After this, the two go to a secluded beach where Haruka talks about himself. He reveals that his father was a businessman and was always on the go. His father used to tell him lies, one of which was about seeing a blue sunset. Unfortunately, he took his life when Haruka was only 12. For this reason, Haruka hates lies. After a bit of chatting, he suddenly proposes marriage to her. He expresses his willingness to quit his job for her, but at the same time, he fears that if the school finds out about their relationship, she will be expelled. As a result, he tells her that they must continue to remain as student and teacher until she graduates. Amidst the secret texts and knowing looks, Yuni longs for a normal relationship. Haruka senses her anguish and summons her to his office, where he gives her a comforting back hug. Mirai, who is passing by, notices this and snaps a photo of the oblivious couple. On the other hand, Akechi notices a change in Yuni's behavior, causing him to be more concerned. He asks Miri about it, and the latter shows him the intimate photograph of Haruka and Yuni. Enraged, Akechi confronts Haruka about the matter, and the teacher reveals his intention to marry Yuni after she graduates. However, Akechi yells at him and storms off, claiming that he will never accept it. Later that night, Akechi tries to persuade Yuni to attend California University, but she has already decided to marry Haruka. Next, Haruka is summoned to the staff room where the principal informs him about the rumors that he is still tutoring Yuni privately. But before Haruka can say anything, Akechi assures him that it is not true, prompting the matter to be dropped. After school, Haruka approaches Akechi to thank him for backing him earlier. However, Akechi coldly says that he did it only for his cousin. He then asks Haruka to convince Yuni to study abroad because it has always been her dream. Haruka knows that convincing her will be tough, but he knows just what to do. The next day, a distraught Haruka summons her to the same secluded beach and ends their relationship, pretending that he no longer likes her. Yuni, who is torn and heartbroken, finds solace in her best friend Nami. In a calm voice, Yuni shares everything, including how Haruka broke up with her, just like a snap. She goes on to say that she is hurt, but the most painful part is that she still loves him. After listening to all of this, Nami becomes emotional and the two best friends cry aloud. Matoba, who is standing nearby, overhears everything and immediately confronts Haruka, punching him in the face and warning him to stay away from Yuni. Afterwards, Miri is with Haruka when she admits that she was the one who took the intimate picture and showed it to Akechi. She wanted to end his relationship with Yuni, hoping he would return to her. However, now she regrets it. Despite learning the truth, Haruka is not angry. Instead, he thanks her for telling Akechi, because if someone else had taken the picture, the situation could have gone differently. Meanwhile, because of everything that happened, Yuni decides to fly to California to continue her studies. On the day of the flight, Nami mentions that she has informed Haruka of her departure, but Yuni is aware that he will not come. Nami feels bad for her, but Yuni refuses to give up, claiming that her feelings for him will not change and that she will study hard in order to return as a more well-rounded person for him. A few months later, Yuni returns to Japan and invites Haruka to the beach. She shows him a picture of a blue sunset, proving that it does exist and that his father was not lying to him. She explains how the blue sunset is a phenomenon known as blue flash. Yuni also claims that she was always aware that Haruka lied for her sake, just as his father did. She asks him to wait for her, assuring him that she will return once she has earned the right to be with him. Hearing this, Haruka is unable to lie to her any longer, and he asks her to marry him right away. Finally, Yuni has a smile on her face. The two reconcile and share a romantic kiss against the backdrop of a blue sunset.